Here we go. All right, well, friends, we are sitting in the parsonage garage with two of my best colleagues and friends in Lansing for the Hot Wings Action Challenge, long story short, hot and spicy edition. Woo!
Take two.
Take two. We already did this last week. We told the story of the Bible, or 2 weeks ago, while eating progressively hotter hot wings from Wings Over East Lansing. We gonna get that commercial in there? There it goes, something like that. We're going to take a second. We want you to share this out, okay? Share it on your things. We got to take a minute and share it all out ourselves.
Yeah.
So share it to your pages. Share it to Wings Over East Lansing. Oh, yeah. There's my voice. We have got 3 levels of hotness tonight. We have got wimpy. Actually, no, we got 4 levels of hotness. Honey barbecue.
Let's start with that.
I'll represent the honey barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Honey barbecue, no real spice. That's for Matt. Matt, you're the heat virgin tonight.
Yeah.
Except that we already...
Except for last time
Except
when
for
we
last
did this.
2
You
weeks
tortured
ago.
me through this, that's right.
Yeah, we're making you do it again. The irony of this is that it's freezing cold outside.
It is so cold.
But we've got I'm actually pretty warm right now. We got a space heater under the table.
Yeah.
I feel that heat under
Yeah.
there.
Feels
You
good.
bring the heat on.
Yeah, Randy
Bad.
is sitting over there. He's chilling literally because he's the closest to the open
He
garage
is.
door.
Yes.
We're trying to sit 6 feet apart from each other, COVID conscious. But we're going to eat progressively hotter hot wings and while telling the story of the Bible.
Yeah.
That's the basic idea. Because we're in this series, long story short, the Bible in 6 episodes. So this is like a bonus episode.
This is like a
Episode
bonus
7.
episode, yeah.
Episode 7.
The whole thing put together into one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I think in the beginning, God created honey barbecue.
And all was good. And he should have just stayed that way.
What?
We should just stop the story with the Garden of Eden and everybody doing great.
Honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue.
All right, let's see. We got my wife. We got Nissa Estrada Wilson. She's saying, "Hi, Matt. Hello from Minnesota."
Hey! That's been a long time.
Yeah.
Hi, Nisa.
All right, honey barbecue. In the beginning, God created.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it was good.
This is no heat at all. This is just
This is just delicious.
just getting warmed up.
Just physically warm.
Now, when we did this 2 weeks ago, we didn't have the heating pad. So by the time we got to the Revelation, all the wings were actually cold, even though they were spicy
They were
hot.
spicy hot, physically cold.
Physically cold. So we've learned in 2 weeks. One is to get a professional video guy to do this with us.
Shout out to Randy. Right?
Silent Flick Productions for all your video needs. He's a hero for fire.
Last time I-
Hero for fire. Hero for hire tonight. All right. Those are really good wings, but there is no spice in those at all. All right, so God created
Yeah.
6 days, the Bible says. I don't think, probably none of us are sitting around the table are going to say that's 6 literal
6
days.
literal days, probably not.
Started with a big bang.
Big Bang. That's our series coming up. Priest and a physicist walk into a bar. You finish the joke, all right? Right there in the comments. Priest and physicist walk. Mark, you're the scientist among us. Break down the creation story.
Break down the creation story?
Yeah.
There's not
a
like
real
break
nice,
it down.
Yeah. There's not a real nice, neat narrative for it. God created everything, probably. Started with a big bang. Expansion of the universe. Stuff cooled. Planets formed. Perfect
Man, those are
conditions on Earth for life. Life began. Changed over time. God is involved in all of this. God's involved in the bang. God's involved in the life being created. Billions and billions of years pass, and you have the pinnacle of creation, humans.
God said it was good.
Yeah.
I don't think there weren't chicken wings in Eden according to the story of the Bible because it was like vegetarian.
Yeah, they eat meat a little later.
Yeah. Meat comes in like with Noah.
Didn't we ask that question? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And Mark answered it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I thought. So the egg, obviously. Scientist.
The egg had
Mark.
to come first, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
I haven't
Glad
eaten
that's
dinner. I saved it, so I'm starving right now.
This is second dinner for me, but that's okay.
All right, so God created on purpose, for a purpose. It wasn't just accidental. I think all of us are going to like pull science into that story as well. We really the Bible tells us more like the intention of creation, not the mechanics of creation.
No?
And the story of creation is creation in community. That's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
For community.
In community, for community. Yeah.
All right. We got bone things here. Notice Matt's is small, mine's medium, and Mark is large.
Yes. I'm about to.
All right, so what happens?
I mean, my third wing here.
Got this beautiful creation, and then, boom, the fall. I feel like it's time for some spice now that we got to the fall.
When we hit the fall, we have to hit
go.
the spice.
All right, hit the spice.
Yep.
All right, so we got. Look at that.
Whoa. The level
That
of
smells
steam
like
coming
fire.
off of it.
Yep.
It smells bad for you.
Wow.
We've got 3 layers.
It does smell bad for you.
Hold on, do you guys remember which one is which? We had this
No.
problem last time.
That's got to be the
Do you
That's
think
not
that
how-
one's the hottest?
The one
I
that's
can
on
smell
fire
it right
is the
here.
hottest.
Like my nose is literally
Alright.
watering already.
So, Adam and Eve, they do the one thing they're not supposed to do.
Have hot wings.
Have hot wings. They eat from the one tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And here we go.
These are bigger. Sweet. Oh wow, you can like smell the spice already.
Man,
So this is wimpy level.
this is wimpy.
Oh, I thought those were wimpy.
No, those are
This
just
is
honey
wimpy?
barbecue.
Those are honey
All right,
barbecue.
wimpy
Those have-
right here.
Those have no heat. Now we have some heat.
This, they put the spice in, like integrated it into the wing better than last time that we had this. Are you ready to be done now?
I swear, if I was at a restaurant right now and these had come to me, I would lean over to my wife. I would say, "Lori, I can't eat this. We either go somewhere else,
I can't do this.
or I order something else, or whatever." It just wouldn't happen.
We're at wimpy level.
I know.
Yeah, it starts a slow build in there as you.
Yeah.
But that's what it is with the fall. All our faults, right? Our faults and our
One ad, like it's a snowball. You got one leads to another. Disobeying the one commandment, then blaming.
Yes.
They play the blame game. That's like
and
you haven't even eaten one yet. You're
I know.
just like taking a little bite out of it.
I know, but I can feel my tingling already. So we would take that
Wow.
allegorically as well. We would take that as a example of our faults, failures.
Well,
Splits.
that's a really interesting question, and it's one that I keep pitching to our teaching team to do a series on the historical Adam. And you guys never pick that, so
No.
we don't end up doing it.
That's a tough
Because to
topic.
be honest, I don't really know what to make of that. Whether to take Adam and Eve as a literal two people, or to read it more as
Right.
metaphorical representations of all humanity. What I think is definitely true is that we all just keep repeating this. Like it, as my wife says, it doesn't have to be historical to be true. She's an English major.
Right.
There's truth in the story, but yeah, sometime Mark's gonna have to break down the evolution of humanity and the. They actually
There are
have
people
traced
far
it back,
smarter
haven't
than
they?
me who haven't figured that one out yet. So
Okay.
True.
Well,
I don't know about that.
see, sometimes we do series because we want to like spend the time ourselves trying to figure
Absolutely.
something out more that we don't know.
Absolutely.
I think in terms of things like that, though, I love biologos, and I totally recommend people check that out. Like they're doing a lot of research on the historical atom and
Yeah.
how creation works, like fits with science and stuff like that. And
Guys, we're like only like at Adam and Eve at this point.
I know,
so
we gotta
we gotta move the story up faster. All right, hey, we got some shout out here. Again, my wife, she's the big fan tonight. She's actually in the living room.
Go,
with the
Sarah.
kids.
She's paying attention to this.
We got 15 people watching though.
She
so
finally
if-
knows what's happening. She could hear us like inside the house
Yeah,
last time.
If you're here, give us
This
a
time.
shout out, okay? Let us know you're here. Shout out in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us you're here, and share this out for your friends. All right, so we got the fall, Adam and Eve, and then you got the first murder. There, Cain kills Abel, and then it progresses like into sort of chaos at that point. So
Yes.
you got more and more spice that keeps getting added to the
Can
story.
you go all the way to Noah with that statement?
Yep. The violence and
Yeah.
Are we
All right.
going in that level of detail, or we just need to get to Abraham?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I want to say one thing about the flood story, because you got
Okay.
all these ancient flood stories. So there's something happened. But what's really unique about the Bible's telling of it versus the other ancient flood stories. Other ancient flood stories, the flood happens because humans are making too much noise. Like
Sorry.
there's some
Whether
Right.
they turn their music up too loud.
yeah, they were complaining too much about the hot wings.
Yeah.
Right.
And in the Hebrew Bible, the flood story happens because of issues of justice. And so you see right at the beginning of the Bible, this, like trying to
treating each
understand
other.
this, probably a regional flood.
Mhm.
Although if you're a 6-day creationist, it's a literal worldwide flood.
We
None
don't
of
really
us
know.
are sitting around the table 6-day creationists, but you got this. There's probably a significant regional flood that wipes out a lot of people, and the way the Hebrews encounter that with God is it's a question of violence and justice. All right, Matt's got to get this thing speeded up because he's going to be on fire in a second. What happened? We got to jump to Abraham and
Abraham.
Abraham.
Yeah.
Abraham gets
Abraham.
We'll let
chosen
you tell the
as an
story
ancient,
so you can take
as
a
a
break.
very old man. He and his wife Sarai get chosen, right, by God to leave everything they know and follow God on this journey to another place, another land. And the biggest part of that story to me is that that God says, "I'm going to make you a tribe of people that is to bless others," which was a radical diversion from the norm at that time. Like, we're not just going to be concerned about ourselves, but we're going to care for other people. And that carries all the way through the Bible, to today, to church today.
That's why, Matt, we're sharing our love of hot wings with you. Because we don't just want to be blessed by the heat ourselves. We want to bless you by it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we got Carrie Ann on. We got Lori. Okay, your wife, Janet.
Hey,
apparently,
beautiful.
Like the slacker
She's
wife
too
here.
busy.
She's probably
She
doing
doesn't
something
care about my
productive.
pain.
She's like saving the world through education, teaching teachers.
Yeah, who knows? Although she hardly does Facebook at all anyway, so tonight wasn't even enough to get her on, apparently.
All right. Are any of your kids on? Tyler Larson is on.
He's on.
He says don't rub your eyes.
That's a good advice.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing this napkin, and yeah.
all
Are
right.
we ready to go to medium heat yet?
No, I mean, we're just in Genesis. We haven't got out of Genesis yet.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got Abraham, who God says you're going to have all these descendants, right? And eventually has become his descendants become the tribes of Israel,
Yep.
12 tribes.
which is kind of a big deal in the Bible.
Yeah.
So,
Isaac is his son. Isaac has Jacob and Esau. Jacob ends up getting renamed Israel, one who wrestles with God, has 12 sons.
let's put Mark. We're putting Mark on the spot. Why don't you name the 12 sons, Mark?
Can't do it.
You can't do it. All right.
Nope.
All right. I can't either.
I also probably
Naphtali,
can't name the
is he
12
one?
disciples too. So just so when we get to that part,
Okay, I'll do
don't
it.
even ask. It's not happening.
Judah, Benjamin.
This is a long story short.
I know.
okay?
I know. We're supposed
It's
to
not all the
shorten it up.
details. I don't have that tonight.
All right. I don't even.
Probably somebody who's watched Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
There you go.
To name the
They can
12
name all
disciples
of
better than the pastors sitting around the table.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think people get into like the details of the Bible and miss the big picture. Like they get really wrapped up in stuff like that. And we're looking at the big picture tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to live by it.
I like the video we have in the puzzle analogy. Like, you can get all caught up in the individual puzzle pieces and sort of miss the whole story and the arc of the Bible if all you know is Bible stories and verses. And
Yep. So, 12 tribes of Israel. One of those, one of the 12 sons sells the 11 sons sell Joseph off into
Joseph
slavery
off
in
into
Egypt.
slavery. Yeah.
Eventually, he rises to prominence, becomes a second-hand man in
Gets
Israel,
renamed to
or in
Moses.
Egypt.
Right?
What's it?
He gets renamed Moses
No.
and saves the Israelites from.
Are you a
Don't
pastor?
try to throw us off.
Sorry,
Matt.
a curveball. We'll edit that out later.
So Joseph, his brothers end up coming and begging from him, and then the 12 tribes end up all in Egypt, eventually in slavery,
Yes.
and then now we're to Moses.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't got out of Genesis yet, guys. We're getting close.
We just talked about this in youth group tonight, and we talked about how from the creation there's the fall, and then there's Abraham, and then Moses, and we like walked through the long story short. I was practicing. I
Good.
didn't know it, but for tonight.
So what's important to know about Moses?
Well, we talked, I mean, with Moses, we talked about how he's a sort of reluctant leader who works with God to help free the people from bondage and head them to the promised land. And I feel like that's one of the big themes of the Bible. Like, there's this way that we're all in exile. Like, we're all like, there's like a home that we long for that like we're not quite there. And that story of Moses helping to lead the people out is just, it's an incredible story of like a homecoming. And I love that, like, freedom from slavery, freedom from bondage imagery, the homecoming aspect
Into the promised land.
into the promised land. Like, it really resonates at a deep level, which is I think why like Moses and that whole story is so powerful.
I think now that we've gotten to the promised land, it's time to go up a notch.
Absolutely.
So it's wimpy to.
I
trying
can
to
tell
remember
it's
what
getting
the-
hot because I'm starting to blow my nose.
What's the next one called? I can't remember. Afterburner?
Shouldn't do this.
Red alert.
Red alert. Red alert. So we were going from
Good.
one
Our
spice
video
to
man
three.
had to assist with what we're eating.
Okay, thank you, Randy.
So to piggyback off your statement, I think the freedom issue,
Yeah.
if you're not experiencing some kind of freedom in your Christian experience, your development of your spiritual life, that there's probably something, it seems like that's, you're missing something out of that experience.
Yeah.
Because everything is that pattern of, I've messed up, but I am experiencing more freedom than I was before.
Well, sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that the thing goes away. You just get more trusting that God's working in the midst of the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Wimpy started to burn my taste buds, but I can't tell a huge difference between Red Alert and Wimpy.
Really?
It's just
Yeah.
hot.
I
It was
don't-
already hot and it's still hot.
I don't feel much difference there from 1 to 3.
Although
I'll let you know.
I can tell why they gave me the bigger bowl, Matt. I feel like you guys, your job is to talk and mine is to just sit here and eat.
All right, so we got Moses.
We got Moses.
Ends up dying. He doesn't end up getting into the promised land. Joshua leads him into the
you
promised
skipped
land.
the same thing you skipped last time, which is the law.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tom wants to skip over the
The
law every
Calvinist
time.
amongst us wants to
I'm
come
like,
back.
no, there's a huge, Leviticus. Come on, it's everyone's favorite book.
Yeah.
And the 10 Commandments.
Yes.
Oh, I am starting to feel the heat a little more now.
I am.
In fact, I realized I dipped it in blue cheese. That was cheating. This is an enormous. Look at the size of this thing.
I may have to dive into my almond
feel
milk
like
that I
they're
brought.
not
If you guys
only-
need this.
You like have only nibbled on those.
I
They're
know.
not
Well,
only
I'm
getting
getting it.
hotter,
Not
but
the
the
hotter
pieces of wing they're getting bigger, and so there's more meat on each one too.
Where were we?
Ten Commandments.
Promised
Oh,
Land.
10 Commandments.
Promised Land.
Promised Land.
We tried to skip the law, but I wouldn't let us.
And the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
the teachings. The law is actually like a Greek translation of Torah into nomos, which Jews actually really dislike it being called the law. The Torah
Well,
is. Oh yeah, I'm starting to feel
I'm
the heat
influenced
now.
by Paul. What can I say in the way he talks about it?
This is hotter than the last time.
Well,
It has to be.
Really?
You're influenced by the way the English translates the Greek of Paul.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Pastor
So-
debate.
Yeah, this is a real
No
fun part
most
of the
of
long
Torah.
story short. Law versus Torah. Yeah.
So where are we at?
Israel.
Promised Land.
Promised. Okay.
Yep.
They end up like having lots of fights with the people in the Promised Land because there's people there already. The
And
Canaanites,
we talked about
the
this last time.
Philistines.
It's a weird thing where like there's people already there, and God is like go in and wipe them out,
That's a hard part of the story.
Yeah.
which is a really weird, tough part.
And it's basically like modern day Israel.
Yes.
You know, you want to know why like
It was
they're
a mess then.
struggling right now. Well, they've been
Yeah.
struggling
There's been conflict there for centuries.
yeah, well,
Millennia.
millennia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a long
eventually
story
they-
short, we say that process is repeated. The get in trouble and God rescues you. You have a destination. God has a goal, a dream, a way He wants people to be, and then you mess up and He delivers you.
He
That
delivers
goes on
you.
in the Old Testament and moves us up to.
Well, they
400 years.
you end up with like Israelites, the 12 tribes getting some level of predominance, and they end up being led by judges. That's where you get Samson and Deborah, one of the
Gideon.
female leaders in the Old Testament. It was really cool to hear her story.
Mm-hmm.
We followed her in the Wonder Women series.
That's right.
Did a sermon on her, Nancy Dietrich. You look like you're.
I'm starting to burn a bit.
Starting to burn a bit.
Man, I could go at this level all night.
I could. I mean, I would get full eventually, but
Yeah, well, that's true.
I think I've already had well over 10 wings.
I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Nice.
How many of you had?
I'm working on 4.
I'll have to rewind the tape.
All right, so we got to move
They'll
forward.
let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Eventually, the Israelites want a king.
yeah.
Samuel, if my little Sammy's watching, we named my son Samuel after Samuel the prophet. Ends up anointing the first king, Saul. Saul ends up being a bad choice. He's got some mental imbalances.
Mm-hmm.
And ends up doing some things that God doesn't want him to do. And Samuel goes and anoints another king, David, a man after God's own heart,
Yes.
which is not to say that David is in any way.
I was going to say, yeah, he still has his problems. He
he's
still
got
has
some
his
serious
issues.
problems.
Yeah.
But he repents, so he makes a mistake. I mean, he doesn't always realize it on his own. Sometimes it takes Nathan the prophet to come and
Right.
tell him this story, and David's all upset, like, who would dare do something like that? And Nathan's like, it was you.
The big one, of course, is
David and Bathsheba.
David. He's actually like his army's out fighting, and he's not with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's lounging around on the roof of the castle. Sees Bathsheba bathing. He's a peeping Tom. There you
She's
go.
live on. You
I'm
keep
Tom.
it PG.
Yeah, and he, you know what? The king wants, the king gets.
That's a good way.
She ends up getting pregnant, and then he tries to get Uriah, her husband, to come back. Uriah is like one of his friends. Come back and sleep with her, so that they'll think that you're already blowing your nose because you're.
Yeah.
By the way, Matt is like wearing his snowmobile outfit, or like ski outfit.
I'm warm.
I like the comment on here that apparently they missed the theme here of Long Story Short. Which, you know, I mean, you get some pastors together and we have the microphone. What do? We just like to talk, right?
Yeah.
you plan for a 20-minute sermon and somehow it ends up at 40
I know.
minutes. And we've
This
got
is-
a captive audience.
This is like
Not
the
in our
time
church, it doesn't.
that
I've
I-
noticed that, it's a little different.
in my internship when the pastor ended up having to go to the ER and I was given the pulpit without any preparation. And I learned in that moment that preparation keeps your sermon short
Right.
Absolutely.
because you just keep talking. So where are we at? We'll speed it up.
Yeah, we'll speed it
Well,
up.
do we go to 400 years of silence, which is an interesting...
That's like really speeding it up.
I could talk about that for a bit. That's speeding up too much? All right, what do
We
we
should
have between
mention
there?
like the progression of kings and the
You got
kind
kings.
of the division of the kingdoms and
You got
sort
the
of
different
downward
the
spiral of
Syrian
everything.
Empire and the Babylonian Empire. They come, they pull them off into exile. They come back with Nehemiah and Ezra, rebuild Jerusalem and the wall,
Yes,
and then
we get to the 400 years of silence.
well, we got to get the prophets in there though. Like all the prophets.
Okay, fine.
I mean, that's like a lot of the books of the Bible.
No business survives without prophets.
That's bad, Matt.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Let's hear some comments about that. Was that a good... Did that spice things up a bit here,
No,
or
not
did
at
it
all.
take it down a
No.
notch?
That
My wife would
was
tell me
that was below wimpy.
Don't try to be a comedian. Yeah.
So you got the prophet. The kings are doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like not treating the poor right. They're worshiping other like gods,
They are.
idols, and stuff. And the prophets come, constantly bring down the hammer of God. There we go. Now we got 400
400 years
years.
of silence.
Yeah. Let me talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
I thought you were.
The sounds of silence.
Yeah,
I was
thought
just
you
going to
were
sing
ready
the
to-
sounds of silence, but I can't think of how it starts now. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Is that the sound?
That's all you
Yeah.
have to sing, or else we'll get hit with a copy.
Oh, okay.
Our producer
Got a
said don't
little
sing
ding from the
anymore.
producer.
Yeah, where the screen will go down.
Shut that down, man. Shut that down.
That was a compliment. That was assuming that you were actually hitting the
That you
notes.
sounded
Yeah.
like it. I
Yeah,
know.
you
Tom and
sounded like
I,
it.
people
We
would be like,
sang
I don't
it.
even know what
But
song
then
that
you're like,
is.
Whatever. Keep on singing. Nobody knows. Facebook's not recognized.
All right, so we're New Testament. Are we hitting the hot stuff yet?
Yeah, we got to.
Okay, because we're 2/3 of the way through the Bible.
We are. All
How
right,
many
so
books in the Old Testament?
27?
That's the New Testament.
Oh, I thought you said, I was thinking New Testament. 39?
Yes.
all right, here we go.
All right.
Jet
Jesus
fuel.
is born. What do we got?
Oh,
Jet
boy.
fuel.
Jet fuel.
And the
Jet
angels
fuel.
come out,
Oh yeah.
and the shepherds.
You got to get a close up of Matt doing this.
Oh my goodness. You can just like smell the heat coming from it. Wow. Oh.
What are these called?
They were hotter last time.
Oh, yeah. I hope so.
Did you get a wet one? Like there's all the like
Jet fuel.
saucy stuff in
I
there.
guess I didn't. Oh no, there it is. There it is.
Last time Matt was like grabbing them for me, and he would
I
rub
was
it around in the
rubbing 'em
hot
there.
sauce
Yeah,
before
please don't
he
return the favor.
handed the wing to
There it
me
is.
with his tongue thing. So Jesus is born.
Jesus is born.
Yes.
So Mary's an incredible figure. She basically has this an unwed mother in an ancient. Oh, that's hot.
Oh boy.
I should have eaten this before I heard you guys say how hot it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
Yeah.
completely
That
different
helps if
flavor
you-
right away.
I'm making sure to breathe away from you guys. Don't worry. Ooh.
Jesus is born. You got lots
You
of.
can't tell it's hot. Oh, do you want?
Not yet. Oh, wait a minute. It's coming. Things are changing. in
I
my
have not
mouth.
started hiccuping yet, but I can feel it coming.
So
What were we talking about?
Jesus is born
Jesus is born
in a manger.
in a manger. Angels, shepherds, wise men, and then we
King
jump to
David.
like 12 years old.
Okay.
Goes to the temple.
Can we
Jesus
jump to when he's 33?
Luke 2, one of the few scriptures I memorize. Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and man.
Yeah.
That's all we know about him.
Just men
Growing
or
up.
women too?
Hmm?
Just women, just men or women too? Grew in,
Say
grew in
men.
favor of.
Oh,
God
God,
and man.
no, man
This
is
is
in
good.
the humanity.
I just want to make sure that, what is it, Angelica gets her voice in there too. Angelica Schuler from Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh boy.
And, oh, can't sing.
That's going
Don't
hot.
sing. Yeah,
That's
this is
going
getting
real hot.
I just,
All right, look,
Wanna
I
be
put
in the
that,
room
look at
where it
that. I
happens.
put that
That's
in
all
the
I wanna say.
sauce. That
yes,
the
you did.
sauce
That's got
is
a dip.
on that, all right?
That's a dip.
It's burning my lips. All right, so Jesus grows up. He then he starts his ministry really by going out in the desert, gets tempted by Satan.
Baptized first, right?
Baptized by John, by his cousin.
By his cousin John the Baptist. And
Oh
then
man,
he goes into
we're
the
getting
wilderness.
baptized tonight.
This is yeah. I feel like I gotta clear my throat. Where's that milk, Matt? What were we
Wings
talking
over
about?
East Lansing.
Were we talking about Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember where we were at. Oh, he
starts his
baptized,
ministry.
and then he goes out and tempted by Satan to turn stones into hot wings.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I'm not hungry enough to be really tempted by these right now.
and then he comes down. He comes out of that, and he goes and picks his 12 disciples, kind of replicating the 12 tribes of Israel. I feel like the hotter it gets, the louder I start shouting.
Yes. Well, I just want all the air out of my mouth because it's so hot.
And may I have a Kleenex, Mark?
Yeah, you can have as many Kleenex as you want.
So,
You know it's hot when you start to get the sweat underneath your eyeballs.
yeah.
I'm getting there.
All right, we got 18 people.
They've hung in
Eating
for a while
bread.
here.
Yeah.
Moving on for their sake.
Um,
Let's see.
12 disciples. They start out in the Sea of Galilee region. Jesus heals. He teaches Sermon on the Mount. Love your neighbor. Very revolutionary stuff. Love God and love others. Those are the two commandments.
Tom's voice is changing. You have your hot wing voice.
It's getting higher.
It is. Yes. I love it. I know. This is very hot.
The book of Revelation says.
We need to keep moving so we can get to Paul.
What happens after that? He ends up then, they go down to Jerusalem. It's like I can't get a whole sentence out. He goes down to
breathing is
Jerusalem
difficult.
for the Passover. For the Passover. And Jesus goes into the temple, sees the people selling, flips the tables. That doesn't go over well with everybody. Ends up basically like the religious leaders. It's burning my lips.
Yes. And my tongue.
It's just my lips. It's not my tongue.
I can feel the front of my tongue on fire.
The sides of my tongue.
The
Are
sides of your
burning.
tongue are on fire?
And
Yeah.
I've never had that experience before.
Way to go, Matt.
I'm working on it, right?
Good job.
In a pile there.
All right. I gotta eat some.
Where are we?
Waffle fries. He's crucified.
He's
Crucified.
All right.
Oh, good. We're going faster now. This is good.
The story's
Crucified.
speeds up the hotter.
3
Two.
days.
Roll the stone
3
in front of
days
it.
dead.
3 days later,
Mary
resurrection.
is at the tomb.
The women are the first
The
to see it.
women are there.
They're really the first apostles. Women don't let anybody tell you can't bring the good news to anybody, or preach or whatever. Lead. Jesus picked women as leaders.
He did.
Oh man,
This is.
what are you guys
Got
drinking?
some heat.
I got Blake's hard cider caramel apple.
Are we doing product placements? Wings over East Lansing.
We're all
Supplier of the wings tonight.
yeah, the local. Blake's is local. You got Founders.
I wish
I
I
got
could
a Founders
remember
of Michigan beer here, Backwoods Bastard.
that. I'm drinking a milkshake beer
Nice.
that I had half of yesterday. Now, that's not a beer connoisseur statement, but
That's Verner's. What are you
I
talking
put it
about?
in a Werner's container because it's small and it seal it up and then it stays fresh. I can drink the rest of it the next
All right.
day.
if Blake's would like to sponsor our next Hot Wings video, we're happy to
Yeah,
take
sure.
the money.
Or founders.
Or founders.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus raises from the dead. We're on to Pentecost.
Bunch of people see him. He ascends into heaven. Tells his disciples to wait for him. Well, there's only 11 now because Judas betrayed him and ends up
Hanging
taking
himself.
his life.
Okay.
You know, I've learned lately to say he died by suicide, but I feel like
We're not sure about that.
with Judas, like that feels like the sort of soft play it. But I don't know. Like I've been using the language death by suicide. Somebody, because it's a mental illness thing. Judas was trying to force Jesus'
I could
hand.
maybe do one more.
Oh come on, we're not even. Can you
Not even a
You want to
Revelation.
try this extra hot sauce?
No, this is
My
so hot.
my
My mouth is
son-in-law
on fire.
sent this with me tonight and said that we should try it. So
Oh my gosh, no.
I'm gonna, in honor of
I
Patrick.
can't decide if it's better to breathe through my nose or through my mouth.
That's impressive.
So, a bunch of people see Jesus. He ascends to heaven,
Oh,
and
that's a
then the
good
disciples are still kind of scared. They're waiting for something to happen, and Pentecost happens. And the Holy
Tons of
Spirit
fire.
comes on
They were
them.
probably eating hot wings.
Yes,
Hotter than
fire.
hers. Holy Spirit.
There's a tongue of fire out of each of our mouths right now.
I feel like we need that logo again. Here we go. What is it? Jet fuel
Oh,
or
jet
afterburn?
fuel.
Gosh,
I can't remember.
smell that.
Here we go.
Just
Here's the
smell
fire of
the
Pentecost.
extra sauce on it. Can you smell it?
Yeah,
I shouldn't have put that
So
much on.
hot.
You put a lot on.
Matt.
All right,
You're
here I
a
go.
masochist, man. Don't do it.
So then Jesus. Oh, there it was.
Do you need a tissue right away?
I'm going to.
If you're gonna throw up, please not on the table. Okay, get aim it over there. We are in the garage, so it's okay to just go. So then the disciples start to spread out from Judea to Samaria to all the ends of the earth, and share the good news of Jesus and the story of Jesus. Enter Paul. Paul's a Pharisee who's like killing Christians.
Sees Jesus on the road to Damascus. Completely changes his life.
Yeah, becomes a missionary. I've always thought Paul was probably like a pain in the keister, a Pharisee. Like that's probably saying it right. And then he's just a pain in the keister as a Christian too. But since I've been reading
Are we to Revelation yet?
lately, I've gained a new appreciation. Paul is the liberal in the Bible. He's the liberal in the New Testament. The conservatives are the ones, the Christians in Jerusalem. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going out and he's like trying to adapt
Pushing
the
things
gospel,
all the
pushing
time.
like the envelope all the time. And then back in Jerusalem, they're like,
Bringing
no,
the
you
gospel to
can't do
people
it.
who
Like,
you'd never
they
think
got to
would
be Jewish
accept
first.
it.
They got to do all these Jewish things. And Paul's like, no, they don't.
Right.
He's
Good point.
like, he's the liberal. There you go. Oh man, you're
That's taking layers
It's
off.
getting a little hot.
You're revealing the Spartan sweatshirt.
Yes.
all right.
I love it. Go green.
So then, Paul starts all these churches all around the Mediterranean, and thank you for sneezing your COVID over that way.
Not on our food.
We are, by the way, in an open, ventilated garage. Poor Randy's sitting over by the open door.
We didn't
Yeah.
I did give him a heater.
I feel like those spices would burn out any virus that is in here. I don't literally believe that, but this is hot.
That was the most unscientific thing you said tonight. From
Of course.
a scientist.
Yep. I'm not thinking clearly. My mouth is on fire.
So,
It like
Where
hurts
were we
to
at?
talk.
Paul starts all these churches. They like sort of deteriorate after he leaves. So he writes letters to them.
He does.
Eventually, he ends up going awry of the authorities. He ends up in prison several times, shipwrecked, then ends up like wanting to appeal in a prison to the emperor, Caesar.
Yes.
So he ends up going to Rome, and the Bible doesn't tell his story. We just know from tradition that he was executed in Rome.
You need some more voice changing hot wing, Tom.
Do it all faster.
You sound like you're not even struggling.
Well, oh, there we go. All
I was
right.
gonna say, like, what are you doing? Taking a break?
So then you got
This is a sign of.
you got
somebody
Peter, James, and
here.
Jude all write letters as
that.
well. That's nasty, Mark. Put
Yeah.
that back under the table.
So
Okay.
a lot of the letters are just correcting the churches. What's
Yes.
going on with the new churches
All
that
right.
are popping up?
See, here's the problem: is I've been talking to all these scholars, and now I know, I know all this stuff I didn't know or that I'd forgotten.
Long story
the-
short.
The Catholic epistles are in the Bible as a canon to correct misinterpretations that were happening in the early church about Paul. James, Peter, and Jude are each correcting misinterpretations of Paul.
Oh,
Wait till we get to
interesting.
what was his name? David Niehaus. He's
Yeah.
Dutch. Niehaus. All right, and then Revelation.
Revelation. We need to get
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I think this is my last wing, man. These are hot.
Revelation. What famous person said Revelation shouldn't even be in the Bible?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you
Most
guys
of the
know
people
that.
in my church.
Yeah. I was thinking it was Martin Luther or somebody like that. Like,
Didn't you
made
want
some
to have
kind
it
of
in the
statement.
Bible?
Well, he made some kind of statement like,
Martin Luther didn't like James.
was it James?
Yeah. So
Anyway,
Revelation.
Revelation
Back to
This vision.
is. By the way, get the close up here, all right?
Revelation.
It's Revelation, not Revelations.
There we
One
go.
unified vision.
one,
That's Tom's favorite thing to correct people on.
People always come to me and say,
Now we have a recording of it, and you can just replay that recording
I know.
every time you want to
take
say
a
it.
gift.
When
It's
are
not
you gonna
Revelations,
preach on
it's
the book of
Revelation.
Revelations? It's not Revelations. It's one Revelation.
That's going to be your gift.
Why does
Tom.
that bug him so much?
We can just have you again and again. It's not Revelations, it's Revelation.
You can get it on. What's that like? That little video that just like boomerang,
Yeah.
a boomerang
Oh.
video.
There we go.
Except those don't usually have audio, do they? It's just video.
We could caption it.
My lips are on fire.
Yes. So John has this vision.
A new heaven and a new earth.
Heaven and a new earth.
It's not fire and brimstone. There is some fire and brimstone. The main thing is, by the way, it's not that we go into some heaven up there. It's that heaven comes down to here and fixes everything here. And we're resurrected and participate in that.
You didn't finish that one yet, man.
I didn't think we'd get through Revelation that fast. I'm going to finish it.
I got to go for another one.
Is that it? Are we finished the story? The end?
Well, then there's 2,000 years of church history we got to go through.
We're doing that too?
That's some of my favorite parts. We're
That's
in
true.
Acts chapter 20 right now.
Yes. I thought we were telling the story of the Bible, though. I mean, not the story of the whole church.
Well, we do. If I guess you're going to sort of wrap it up with a bow on it, you have to have the creation of the Bible, because it's not like the Bible fell out of heaven.
Oh,
And
That's true.
you have the early church creating a canon, which is like looking at why were there certain books and what did they do, and
I'm sorry. I'm reading some of the comments.
like what?
Tom still gets the jokes and the stories. And then somebody said about Mark, how many have each of you had? Mark, you need to stop.
I've lost track.
Mark, you need to stop. Pottsville still needs their pastor.
Joe Sheetenhelm.
I'm not going to be able to talk this week after
Carrie, and that was
All right,
Teresa
that's
so
Miller.
many hot wings.
Can we get a close up of each of our bowls? I guess it's probably can get a close up of yours, but there's my close up. I guess you can put it out in front of. This is the close up camera over here.
Yeah, look at
Right here, he's got it.
There we
Oh
go.
my goodness.
Did you beat me?
By a little bit.
I think I'm winning.
You think you're winning?
I think I'm winning. I'm just weighing it though.
Oh. Matt, got some puns tonight.
That was a shout out to Jeremy.
Profit one and winging it.
Yep.
Is Jeremy here?
Man.
I don't know.
You're pretty fly for.
What does
a
it
guy.
mean that I've still got the jokes and the stories?
Wait for a flag.
Harry Ann says that.
That despite the hot wings and like we can hardly talk, you're still telling jokes
Mark Raymond wants us to preach this way every week.
every week. No thanks.
Yeah, great idea. Great
I think we
idea.
need to wrap this up.
Kathy Doby wants to know what wings we're eating right now. I want to avoid them. Can we get that logo again, Randy?
Yeah, Kathy also said when you start sneezing, it's over.
It's over. I haven't started hiccuping yet, though. I'm really excited about that.
And I gotta say, I like this sauce. I don't know if we need to do a commercial on it, but it's truffles.
Carrie Ann says, so glad I turned in my pastor license before I got to this level in my career.
That's great.
Give us the like what was it, jet fuel or afterburner? I can't remember. What are the hottest ones?
Jet fuel.
Jet
is the
fuel.
hottest.
Jet fuel.
And they are.
My wife says I've lost the ability to articulate anything. Kathy's telling us it seemed like you missed some important parts of Jesus' story.
I don't
Oh,
care.
really?
Well,
We're
Kathy,
ready to be
you
done.
eat hot wings and tell Jesus' story.
Yeah. This is tough. I should have done this for my preaching class I finished just recently.
Yeah, that would have been great.
You just like,
That would have been great.
Tell the story of the Bible while eating hot wings.
Yeah.
what would your professor think of this?
It's pretty incredible. I don't know.
I think most of my professors at Duke would be appalled.
I think so too. This is probably not what most Methodist pastors are doing as they tell the story of the Bible.
Yeah.
Eating progressively hotter hot wings
I had this-
until they're like sweaty and gross.
I'm not sweating. It's freezing cold in here.
You need to eat more of that, man, Tom.
I do want to go back to the honey barbecue, though.
I was thinking that too. We got 3 left.
There's 4 left.
Four left.
When are we cutting
We
this
haven't
out?
fed
Are we just
Randy
gonna
yet.
continue to?
I don't
No,
know.
we need
What
to
do
get
we-
Randy in on the action.
All right. Anybody want to chime in with anything we
Yeah,
missed?
or what do you think's important that we missed, or questions that you have? Alone is there putting some gifts.
Thank you, Sarah.
Is it GIF or GIF?
Yeah, I don't know.
I say GIF.
Randy would know.
The person who created it wanted it to be GIF, but it's graphic interface, so
GIF.
GIF.
It's GIF.
it depends on who you ask. It's 50-50, both are recognized.
Oh, okay.
All right. This isn't hot at all, but I like blue cheese dressing, so I'm dipping it in blue cheese just because I think that makes it
I
good.
need to move on to another napkin. That one's done.
Sarah, your wife said, quoted my joke. That's the first time anybody's appreciated my humor in a long
It
time.
took you getting out of the Bath and Gunnelsonville area. You just needed a broader audience.
By the way, I also have a shout out for Sarah's video. A lot of people were talking about that this week.
And your Testament
at our
challenge for
churches.
losers.
Yeah, New Testament challenge for losers. Very encouraging to a lot of our people.
Yeah.
Yep, there were some people ready to bow out, and they said, no, that's cool. If Sarah
I don't
can
think
do it."
she's caught up yet.
Well, Teresa just asked. She
Way to
said
go,
we
way to
missed.
go,
She missed a
Sarah.
part. Can we start over again at the beginning? Not happening,
No.
Teresa.
Last time when we did this, my computer memory filled up on my phone
Yeah.
and crashed,
We did like a 1 minute.
and then we had to do a
blitz.
That was like a blitz.
Yeah.
All right, so this Sunday, we got what's coming up. We got
Okay.
we got the last
Oh.
episode 6.
You guys are
New
a week
creation.
ahead of Bath and Gunnelsonville.
So you're on church.
We're on church this week.
Today is the
And-
20th birthday of Sycamore Creek.
Is it really?
We're 20
Yeah.
years
Happy
old.
birthday, Sycamore Creek.
Yep.
Happy
Let's
birthday.
celebrate with hot wings.
Yeah,
That
we should've
means
had a cake.
that we're now about to graduate from college with over $100,000 in debt and no appreciable skill. We're going to live in our parents' basement for
There
7
we go.
years.
Or in their garage,
Or in their
eating
garage.
hot wings.
Yeah. Live off of their dime again.
Yes.
While we wait for somebody like Bernie Sanders to get elected and forgive all of our student debt.
Don't think that's going to happen right away, but.
I think Bernie Sanders is done.
Mm-hmm.
He's too old. He's not gonna make it to another.
We could switch this to politics.
Sarah let us know that she finished the book of Matthew today. So if you are a New Testament challenge loser,
There we go.
and you're way behind, that's okay. Some of us have just started Luke. Others of us are just finishing Matthew. Keep going.
Here's one of the
Keep
secrets
going.
of the New Testament challenge is lead a small group, and then you have extra accountability for staying on top of it.
Or provide a daily thought
There
every
you go.
day.
There you go.
That really keeps me on track.
Carrie, who's on line here with us tonight, is running one of our small groups, and her small group is half Sycamore Creek, half Bath in Gunnison.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
I got somebody
learned
from
that.
your church in my small group.
Yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine. Yeah.
I've actually got people from 4 different churches. I mean, well,
Isn't that great?
Potterville, and
Potterville,
South
South
Lansing.
That's really great.
Church and pub.
Well, yeah, church and a pub, but also Sherry goes to a bunch of churches, really.
Oh, nice.
And then Catherine. It's it's kind of it's a cool group. It's me with all my, like it's a whole me and a bunch of ladies every noon at Wednesday talking about the Bible. They're all keeping up, but they're all like retired or they don't have kids, and so.
Not Catherine.
It's challenging. I mean, it's a lot of reading. Like,
But I'm like, I don't usually read the Bible that fast. And I'm gaining like
Yeah.
a serious like appreciation for the whole, like you just read it in little snippets,
It's refreshing.
and
To
It
me.
is.
Yeah,
instead
to
of
get that
like the details,
sense, yeah.
don't get stuck in the details. Like
Yep.
just, like this is where I realized Paul's a liberal by reading the whole thing. Like we get our undies in a bunch with like the things Paul says about women. But the reason, by the way, Dr. Carla Works from Wesley, everybody's talking about that interview I did with her.
Mhm.
She is amazing.
she was amazing.
Like I had people texting me, like I could listen to her all day long.
We should get her to eat hot wings and tell about her stuff.
There you go.
That would be awesome.
That would have really spiced up these New Testament interviews.
We
Order them remotely a set of hot wings. Tell us about your specialty. This is like no
How many
New
of
Testament interview you've ever done before.
I like none of them would go for that.
None of them.
Actually, no, that's not true. Like a lot of them that I've had have been like they're up and coming scholars. They're like first year scholars, or like they're brand new, or they're like just starting to build. There's a couple like Ben Witherington or Douglas Campbell. Like I interviewed Douglas Campbell from Duke. He's so established that people are writing books about him and his view on Paul. And then Carla Works is she's newer in her scholarship. She's working on a commentary on 1 Corinthians. But anyway, like between listening to her and reading Paul, like the Corinthians in 2 weeks rather than in little snippets, I'm like, oh my gosh, Paul. And then getting like the narrative, like the story of like Paul's life mixed in there as well, because Acts is not always entirely accurate about Paul's life historically. Like Luke, the author of Acts, is like trying to make up some points about things. So Paul's letters sometimes differ in their historical like points, and then but is Paul like accurate teller of his own history? I mean, those are all more academic issues, but anyway, the big point was I didn't see that Paul was a liberal until I read that whole thing in relation to like his arguments with the Christians in Jerusalem.
Speaking of hot wings, I backed off to the medium, and I can't even tell there's heat there after eating the jet fuel ones. Like my mouth is like seared hot, and now I'm like, is this even like? It's no big deal.
That's like when you go back to your daily thought without having to keep up with the New Testament readings. You'll be like, oh, this is easy.
Yes.
I could talk for 2 or 3 minutes every day about a
no
Bible
big deal.
passage.
Yes.
All right.
Well, long story short,
We've
in an hour.
gone.
We did it.
Yeah, in about an hour.
About
I feel like we need to invite Randy to come over on screen. I mean, he's sitting over there.
Randy's shaking his head no.
No, the camera guy doesn't
No.
want to go on screen.
I have an off-screen personality.
He's off-screen personality.
Well,
Sarah's saying Carla Works was awesome. Patricia Alderman, Carla.
Yep.
Carla works. I wonder how many times she gets that
Yeah,
joke.
right.
Carla Works, by the way, said that her students. I think this was what she said. Something like her students say she loves Jesus, but she's married to Paul.
Huh.
What's so refreshing about Carla Works is it's a academic who she grew up Baptist, so they wouldn't let her teach. So she had to start reading Paul to understand, and she found in Paul, like, he's way more radical than any Baptist ever, like she was ever taught, or even like Methodists generally teach. And so she had to like study herself into having a role in the church. But she's not like jaded, and she's like so enthusiastic.
No chip on her shoulder,
She
just
doesn't have a
like
chip on her
past that.
shoulder.
Very
She
cool.
just like she's amazing.
Huh.
That was a total cold call, by the way. And when she saw my email
Nice.
from Sycamore Creek, there's apparently another Sycamore Creek that's like a big mega church that doesn't let women preach, and she thought that church was reaching out to her. And
She got all excited.
well, she didn't get excited. She was like, "What's going on?
Why would they want to talk to me?
What's this? What? Am I getting in a trap or something here?" And then she was like, "Because we don't have United Methodist in our name," so she didn't realize.
Yeah,
like,
she didn't
this
know
was
that we
United
were
Methodist
Methodist.
Church asking a United Methodist seminary scholar.
Right.
I've actually really loved the reading the Bible's been awesome, and talking to those scholars. That's been really nurturing in my soul,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't get to do a lot of that usually as a pastor.
Yeah.
Like really almost, I mean, we're kind of experts on the Bible, but then you talk to one of these people and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about the Bible. We're really experts on how to run a volunteer organization.
Yeah.
That's really like what we're,
Yep.
our primary expertise.
Mark and I get some of that going to school
Yeah.
still.
Yep. We still get to
it's
interact
cool.
with some scholars.
Right. Which is,
Yeah.
is refreshing at times.
It is. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not refreshing,
But
but
sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's really good.
some of the articles that the scholars have sent me, I'm like, oh man, I used to read these, like multiple ones of these every day. And it took me a while, like 3 or 4 pages before those like muscle memory, brain memory things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're like going on an hour.
We need to be done with it.
We probably need to be done. Actually, we're probably on an hour because we didn't start right at 7.
Yeah.
58 minutes.
58 minutes. Randy says 58 minutes. All right, well, let's recap.
With a hot wing?
The hot wings or the Bible or
I'm stuffed. I can't eat any more hot wings because they're hot.
that was just right.
We started with honey barbecue. This is Wings
did.
Wings Over East Lansing.
Yes.
If Wings Over East Lansing would like to sponsor our next Hot
Wings
Wings
challenge?
Challenge.
I feel like we could do this every series. We could summarize. At the end of the
Oh,
series,
my
we could
goodness.
summarize the series. Sitting in my garage eating
hot wings.
We've got to pace Mark because last time when the trial one that didn't work, the next day he's texting us going, "I don't feel good. My stomach's bad."
I overdid it last
Actually,
time.
the next
But
day,
you
I
did
toned
well.
it back a bit.
You did well
today.
this
I
did
ate
pretty
all
well.
the leftovers the next day.
Oh yeah, you did.
Wow.
Yeah,
Me and Tab.
that one. That's
Way to
So
go.
anyway, if Wings Over East Lansing wants to sponsor us, or Founders, or Blake's, we'll
Yep.
take any of those sponsorships.
We will.
We'll really take any sponsorship.
Or Zondervan, or
Zondervan.
whoever wants to.
Anybody that wants to.
I don't think they will do that, but
So we started out with the honey barbecue. That was no heat. And then we went to, I really just wanted to give Randy a moment to show off his other graphics.
yeah. Then we went to the
Wimpy.
first level of Heat Wimpy.
There was Wimpy. We told the story of Genesis. Did we get into the promised land? When we got to the promised land, then we went to the next level.
The next level.
Was that jet fuel?
no.
No, that was the hot one.
Red Alert.
Red
Red
Alert.
Alert.
Red Alert.
Red Alert. It's a good thing we got Randy here.
Yeah.
Red Alert. And
I think I had 5 Wimpies, and I had maybe 4 or 5 Red Alerts.
Oh my.
And then I think I also had 5 or 6 of the hottest ones. The not Red Alert, the jet fuel.
I've eaten 12.
Oh, I've eaten way more than 12.
Really?
Yes.
Well, how tall are you?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm shrinking. I'm probably like a little shade under 6'4".
6'4". I'm like just under 5. Well, you're really tall too.
Yeah,
I'm just
under
under
I can't
5'2".
even like. There's too many to count here. Like,
How many calories do you eat a day?
I don't. We don't want. I don't know if I want to say how many calories I eat.
A lot.
I eat about 3,500 calories a day.
Gee whiz.
I've cut back though a lot. I'm doing really well.
And that's just to stay even, basically.
Yes.
For
If
you.
I go below that, I can start losing weight.
Start losing weight.
Yeah.
No, I got to go down to like under 2,000 calories to lose weight. Okay, so anyway, we got into the promised land with Afterburner.
Afterburner.
And
And then
then eventually we got to Jesus.
That's not right, is it?
It's red alert.
Red alert.
Red alert.
Red alert.
Tom's just making stuff
Afterburner.
up.
I ordered
then-
stuff.
I know.
Jalapeno
I don't know what I ordered. It was just
sausage.
really hot.
And then we got to Jesus with
Jet fuel.
Jet fuel.
jet fuel
The jet fuel was.
that took us to Revelation.
Whew.
All right.
Those were
so that was long story short in about an hour
Yes.
with Hot Wings signing off from the parsonage garage. Peace out and read your New Testament.
Amen. Wow, that was